Welcome to Wear and Tear. Today's light is a tactical style light, the Sofirn SF36. Sofirn kindly gave it to me in exchange for a review and some hard testing. I'll give my honest opinion about its real value. I'll put the light through a series of increasingly hard tests and only stop short of a level where testing would amount to willful destruction. After all, people worked hard to manufacture it. A lot of labor and energy were put into the light. I want to honor that. Test 1 will be aesthetics. Test 1 is a very hard one, though it's not physically stressful for the light. Test 1 is the judgment of my wife. So dear, what do you think about the aesthetics of this light?
Wow, now that's a powerful and manly flashlight.
Oh yeah, powerful and manly. But what about the flashlight, dear?
Oh, it's all about the flashlight, silly.
Well, that's good for the light. The light passed the first test. It indeed has the hallmarks of a quality light. It does not fall short of many much more expensive lights. It has a double spring system protecting the 18650 cells from shock, a stainless steel bezel, a solid glass lens and an aluminum reflector. There is a bit of dust in the head, but nothing that bothers me. Sadly, it comes with a reverse instead of a forward clicky. Also, you get 4 well-spaced modes in the package and an irregular strobe activated by a double tap. As usually, Sofirn delivers a package that contains everything that you need to get started with the light, including a user manual. The user manual claims that the light is good for 4 hours and 15 minutes, delivering 300 lumens. That is an interesting claim for me because 300 lumens is a good amount of light that you would constantly need if you walk in difficult terrain. So I was testing the 300 lumens claim, and well, just watch the test and you see whether it delivers those 300 lumens constantly. Now the maximum mode is 1070 lumens on the neutral white version of this light. For 1 hour and 28 minutes, I think that's possible. The light steps down after 20 minutes. It's not getting too hot. The body is actually getting rid of the excess heat pretty well. The LED sits on a shelf, and a shelf is always good to get rid of the heat. Drop-in construction would be more problematic. I think the light is there at the 1000 lumens mark. If I compare it with other lights, I don't have the proper instrument to actually measure the lumens output of a flashlight. As you can see, the light passes the mark. With a 3400 milliamp cell you could do even better. Also, you'll see the low voltage protection working. That is excellent, and also it is waterproof. Let's put a little bit of mechanical stress on the light. I got the neutral white version of the flashlight. It's a good general purpose flashlight with a good compromise or balance between throw and flood. It's a very pleasant light source. Sofirn claims 1 meter drop resistance for the flashlight. I do much harder drops here, and I do multiple drops. You don't even see them all on the video. And it survived those drops. It still gave light, but I reduced it to a direct drive light because it damaged the electronics, so no more modes. I decided to go to the lake because it was a beautiful day, and I also wanted to know how water resistant this light really is. So I wanted to submerge it really deep, like at least 3 to 4 meters. That's what we're about to do right now. I was hoping that I would get some footage of the king of the pond that has eaten a lot of swimmers and a lot of dogs last year, but I wasn't that lucky. One more try because I wanted to reach deeper waters and I wanted to leave it submerged for at least 2 minutes. Yep, the flashlight took some water in, at least only in the head section and not in the battery compartment. Now it's more like an aquarium. 2 weak spots. One weak spot is the sealing of the front glass. You see the glass here with the O-ring. The O-ring is sticking to the glass because of the high pressure that we applied in the lake. And now the problem is, why did water enter through the front glass? And well, the seal is lacking in this area, so you would need an O-ring in this area to seal it to the body, so to have a seal in this area, and then you would need an O-ring here, right where the glass pushes against the bezel. What they did is they actually have an O-ring here around the reflector. Like the glass goes onto the reflector like this. And then this whole construction is dropped in. Just like this. So this is where the O-ring is. This goes in. This is, well, water resistant to a certain degree. But of course, it's not as water resistant like other flashlight designs, like the C8 design, that you can truly use to snorkel. So this is the one problem. If they would change this, if they would add an O-ring here and add an O-ring here, then there would be no water ingress into the head at all. Now the other slight problem here is the tail cap. The tail cap is well, a little bit loose. You need to completely tighten it to really have a seal. So either the O-ring is a little bit too small or the tail cap is a tiny little bit too big. But it survived the lake. Now, so it was submerged in the lake, and there was no water in the battery tube, which is very important because lithium ions don't like water. So that was tightly sealed, but you really need to make sure that you fasten it to the fullest degree in order to have a tight seal. So that could be solved a little bit better. Other than that, for like $20, this is an amazing flashlight. The build quality is there. Of course, it's not quite where a Phoenix would be or something like that. But then, you know, if you put a Phoenix or a Claros or anything else through a series of hard tests like we did with this Sofirn, they might fail in one or another area as well. The conclusion of my highly scientific testing is that the Sofirn SF36 is wear and tear proof. The SF36 did not survive unharmed. The body is scratched up, the electronics damaged, and the seals have been broken. But it is still going strong, giving light when light is needed. I had much more expensive lights that completely gave out and did not go through any stress comparable to what the Sofirn SF36 had to endure. Yes, I'm talking of you, Nightcore Concept 1. Sofirn, on the other hand, did very well.